The country is bracing for more potential outrage today as yet another grand jury decision not to indict this time an NYPD officer for the chokehold death of Eric Garner on Staten Island. Now here's the timeline of how the events have unfolded. On July 17th, officers approached Mr. Garner in front of a bodega. They alleged he was selling cigarettes untaxed, or better known as Lucy's. Before long, Garner was wrestled to the ground by several plainclothes officers, but one officer in particular, Daniel Pantaleo, used a method long banned by the NYPD. That's the chokehold. The chokehold has been banned by the NYPD for over 20 years. Now, the man who recorded the video posts it to YouTube, and it catches a media firestorm. On July 19th, just 2 days following the incident, Reverend Al Sharpton hosts a rally in Garner's memory as his grieving wife collapses in his arms. That gathering would then become a march for justice for Eric Garner. As the march unfolds, the policeman who placed Garner in that chokehold is stripped of his badge and his gun. Now, July 20th, a brand new video emerges on YouTube. It picks up where that first video left off. This time it shows Garner motionless on the ground as police await emergency workers to arrive. Now, upon arrival, EMS workers do very little but to maybe check his vitals. The 7-minute video shows not one officer or emergency worker attempting to revive Garner. No CPR, no oxygen masks, nothing of the sort that we're so used to seeing from medical aid workers when they arrive. Now, the following day, on July 21st, after the EMS video surfaces, the hospital, which employs the EMS and paramedics, suspends all of those who responded without pay. The community is outraged at the lack of care and treatment for the lifeless Garner, claiming that the workers let him die. Now, people who knew him call him a gentle giant and say that the 43-year-old was a known asthmatic. Now, the death of this Parks and Rec employee leaves his wife to care for 6 children, one of which was just 3 months old at the time of Garner's death. Now, by July 23rd, Garner's funeral service renews a new conversation about police brutality. Mind you, this is still several weeks before the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson. Al Sharpton and other civil rights leaders pressed for an indictment following the medical examiner's ruling that Garner's death was indeed a homicide. But those cries wouldn't be heard until September 29th, when a grand jury first convened to review the evidence against Officer Pantaleo, which leads us now to today. More than 2 months after the grand jury began their meetings, they've now arrived at the decision not to indict the NYPD officer who placed Eric Garner in a chokehold, which resulted in his untimely death. Now, this is sure to fan the flames of an already racially charged divide between the public and the police across America. In Washington, Manila Chan, RT.